Imagine a life where every day is a fight for survival, sleeping on cold concrete, battling addiction, and feeling like the world has forgotten you. Now imagine that same life leading you to the bright lights of Hollywood, where your story becomes a film, and you're the star. This isn't a fairy tale. It's the real-life journey of Arielle Holmes, a young woman who turned her darkest days into a dream realized. Welcome to Riches Reborn, where we uncover the most inspiring comeback stories from around the world. Stick around to discover how Arielle went from the gritty streets of New York to the silver screen. A journey that will leave you believing in the power of second chances. A life shattered by addiction. Arielle Holmes wasn't born into the chaos that would define her early years. Growing up in New Jersey, she had a childhood marked by instability, a fractured family, constant moves, and a sense of never quite belonging. By the time she was a teenager, Arielle was searching for an escape, a way to numb the pain of a life that felt like it was unraveling. That escape came in the form of heroin, a drug that promised relief but delivered destruction. At just 17, Arielle found herself on the streets of New York City, homeless and addicted, with no one to turn to. She drifted between Manhattan and Brooklyn, sleeping in parks, abandoned buildings, and subway stations, her days a blur of survival. She'd scavenge for food in dumpsters, dodge danger in dark alleys, and chase her next fix with a desperation that consumed her. Her only companion was Ilya, a fellow addict whose toxic presence pulled her deeper into the abyss. Ilya was controlling, manipulative, and often violent. But Arielle, trapped in the fog of addiction, couldn't break free. She later described this time as a living nightmare, where every day felt like a gamble with death. She was invisible to the world, just another lost soul on the streets, forgotten by society and on the brink of giving up entirely. The darkest night. One night in 2012, Arielle hit rock bottom. She was 19 years old, sitting on a bench in Central Park, the weight of her life crushing her. She hadn't eaten in days, her body was weak from withdrawal, and the voices in her head were louder than ever. Ilya had left her after a fight, and for the first time, Arielle felt truly alone. She stared at the scars on her wrists, reminders of past attempts to end her pain, and thought, maybe this is it. Maybe this is where it ends. She didn't want to die, but she didn't know how to live either. The city buzzed around her, indifferent to her suffering, as she sat there, shivering in the cold, her mind racing with thoughts of escape. But something inside her, a tiny spark of resilience, refused to let go. She didn't know it then, but that spark was about to ignite a fire that would change her life forever. As the sun began to rise over the park, Arielle made a silent promise to herself. She would survive, even if she didn't know how. Little did she know, fate was about to step in with an opportunity she never saw coming. A chance encounter in the Diamond District. Fast forward to 2013. Arielle was panhandling near Manhattan's Diamond District, a bustling area where the wealthy bought glittering jewels while she begged for spare change. Her clothes were tattered, her face gaunt, but there was something about her, a raw, haunting beauty that caught the eye of two brothers passing by. Benny and Josh Safdie were independent filmmakers known for their gritty, realistic storytelling, and they were on the hunt for inspiration for their next project. They saw Arielle sitting on the sidewalk, her eyes hollow but piercing, and they felt an instant connection. They approached her cautiously, unsure of how she'd react. "Hey, we're filmmakers," Benny said, his voice gentle. "We'd love to hear your story. Would you be willing to share it?" Arielle was skeptical. She'd been burned by strangers before, but the brothers offered to pay her for her time, and she desperately needed the money. They handed her a notebook and a pen, asking her to write down her experiences. For Arielle, this was more than a job. It was a lifeline. She sat in a nearby cafe, sipping a coffee they bought her, and began to write. Page after page, she poured out her story. The addiction, the homelessness, the toxic relationship with Ilya, and the moments she thought she wouldn't survive. The Safdies were stunned by her words. They saw not just a story, but a star. In a bold move, they decided to turn her writings into a film called Heaven Knows What, and they wanted Arielle to play the lead role, a semi-fictional version of herself named Harley, reliving the pain on camera. Filming Heaven Knows What was a journey into the depths of Arielle's past, and it was anything but easy. The Safdies wanted authenticity, so they shot the movie on the very streets where Arielle had lived, from the grimy corners of the Lower East Side to the desolate parks of Brooklyn. Arielle wasn't just acting, she was reliving her life, scene by scene, in a way that felt both healing and harrowing. She played Harley, a young woman caught in the grip of addiction, navigating a toxic relationship with a character based on Ilya. In one of the film's most gut-wrenching scenes, Harley cuts her wrist in a desperate cry for help, a moment that mirrored Arielle's own struggles with self-harm. The cameras rolled as Arielle bared her soul, her face a canvas of pain and resilience. But the filming process wasn't without its challenges. Arielle was still using drugs during production, often showing up to set high or in withdrawal. The Safdies, committed to her story, worked around her struggles, offering support and patience. They hired real street kids as extras, blurring the line between fiction and reality, and used handheld cameras to capture the chaos of Arielle's world. Through it all, Arielle's performance was electric. Raw, unfiltered, and hauntingly real. She wasn't acting a part, she was living her truth, and the camera captured every moment of her vulnerability and strength. The premiere that changed everything. In 2015, Heaven Knows What premiered at the New York Film Festival, and the audience was left speechless. The film was a raw, unflinching portrait of life on the streets, with Arielle's performance at its heart. Critics raved about her, calling her a revelation, a natural talent who brought an authenticity to the screen that couldn't be faked. The movie went on to screen at festivals around the world, from Venice to Toronto, earning accolades for its bold storytelling and Arielle's captivating presence. For Arielle, the premiere was a surreal moment. She stood on the red carpet, a place she never imagined she'd be, wearing a borrowed dress and a shy smile. She was no longer the invisible girl on the streets, she was a star, her story resonating with people who had never walked in her shoes. The film's success marked a turning point in her life. It gave her a sense of purpose, a reason to fight for her sobriety. With the support of the Safdies and others, Arielle began seeking treatment for her addiction, taking her first steps toward recovery. The road wasn't easy. She faced relapses and setbacks, but the experience of making Heaven Knows What showed her that she was capable of more than she ever thought possible. She had starred in a Hollywood film, a dream she never dared to dream during her days on the streets. Her riches weren't measured in dollars, but in something far greater, a second chance at life, a voice, and a platform to inspire others. A legacy of hope. Arielle Holmes' story didn't end with the premiere of Heaven Knows What. She went on to take on other acting roles, including a part in the 2017 film American Honey, proving that her debut was just the beginning. But more than her career, Arielle's true legacy lies in the hope she's given to others. She's become an advocate for those still living on the streets, speaking openly about her journey to shed light on the realities of addiction and homelessness. In interviews, she shared how the film saved her life, giving her a reason to keep going when she had nothing left. Arielle's story is a testament to the power of resilience, A reminder that even in the darkest moments, a single opportunity can change everything. She's living proof that you can rise from the ashes of your past, no matter how broken you feel. Her journey from homelessness to Hollywood isn't just a story of survival. It's a story of rebirth, one that inspires us all to believe in the possibility of a better tomorrow. From homeless to Hollywood. Arielle Holmes' incredible journey from the streets of New York to the silver screen shows us that no matter how far you fall, you can still rise. Here at Riches Reborn, we're dedicated to bringing you the most inspiring comeback stories from around the world, and we hope Arielle's story has touched your heart. If it did, don't forget to subscribe for more. Just hit that red button below and tap the bell icon so you never miss an update. I've also included some amazing resources in the description to help you on your own journey of rebirth, like a book on resilience and even a link to watch Heaven Knows What, so you can see Arielle's story for yourself. Check them out, and let's keep the inspiration going. Share this video with someone who needs a little hope today, and let's keep the journey of rebirth alive. See you in the next story.